Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G. You're watching Allastrology. This is your February 2026 full moon. We are having a full moon in Leo. Yeah, a Leo full moon. This full moon is ruled by the sun, the fiery hot sun full moon in Leo, and it is on the very, very beginning of February. Yeah, it's right there. You see that? February 1st. And it's at 13 degrees of Leo energy. And this is important. This is considered a point of fate because it's the vertex point, which moves very fast, actually. So whenever it's present at a celestial event, it's significant. And the vertex is at 14 degrees. So that's important. And we'll go through that. We'll dissect that a little bit so that you can kind of be like, oh, basically, these are ways that we get additional details as to just what the hell this is going to mean. So with a full moon, it's a closure and it's an ending. It's the ending of a cycle. And when you want to know like what kind of an ending it is, you just look at the sign that the full moon is happening in. So it's an ending to Leo energy. And an ending in terms of we've completed something. Something is over, right? You know how life has the ebbs and the flows and has its seasons. And well, the full moon absolutely is part of a cycle. It's a 28-day cycle, right? It's matched up with the feminine cycle, the moon time, they call that. Yeah, it's a thing. And what happens when we have that peak, that ending of the cycle, there is a release, there's a flow, there's a letting go as the cat comes in and meows. Well, if you're coming up, come on up. I got work to do. Come on. So, hello, Zoe, on the scene, front and center. The 13 degrees. Well, let's stick with the Leo energy. Give me a second. I have to make sure no whiskers or tails catch fire. Because as usual, I light my candle, I burn my incense, not incense, my sage, my cedar, my stuff to clear the space and to have a focus on the energy at hand. And so the full moon energy, what's Leo? What are we ending? It's children, fun, joy, creativity, but there's even more. What about risk taking? With Leo, we think of having a good time and entertainment, even, right? We think of comedy, but putting on a show, performances is big. This is why we usually see a lot of really performative energy, not just with athletes, but politicians with strong Leo energy, for sure. Okay. You know, they never just want to sit. There's always this I got to do this. I got to rub that. I got to sniff that. I got to be in your face. Can you smell my ass while I'm smelling this? Can you rub? There's always 1,001 things. So having a good time, taking a risk with what? I'm saying risky business right off the bat because of the vertex, fated energy. So these moments of fate always include a door closing and then doors opening. You know, the one door closes, two doors open, or two doors close, one door's open, like however you want to look at it. Something ends, something begins. So there's a concentration of endings here, but this actually also has a promise of a new beginning in a sense, and it has to do with our values. We're going to talk about the 13 degrees, but before we get there, the ending of fun and children and joy and creativity, romance, mating, dating, relating, having a good time with my body, all these Leo keywords, having a good time with our body and risk taking and children. Oh my God, that takes on a whole new level of meaning when we think of that 13 degree, that Leo energy at 13. The 13 is my body. And so Leo energy at 13 degrees being my body, we think Mars and we think youthful, physical. You can look at someone and they have a youthful appearance. You can look at certain people from the backside and think they're like 20, 30, 40 years older than they actually are. And then the vice versa is true. You could see them walking away. When I say looking at their backside, I'm not being like, not that kind of looking, just someone you happen to see, or you think it's someone you know, and then you see the front side and you're like, "Oh, no, that's not who I thought you were." And you might be pleasantly surprised or not, right? It can go both ways. It definitely is the youth, youngsters. And if you aren't young by age, you look young. You have this vitality about you, this playfulness, this assertive action, this daring, courageous, fearless type of energy. Like, oh, well, sure, let's give it a try. Never did that before, type of thing. It's like that pioneer energy. So I'm doing something that supposedly nobody else has done, or at least I haven't done it. And so there is some risky business involved with that, but absolutely youth and youngsters. And what about when we think Mars? Yeah. What about the military? What about that physical stuff that's been going on, whether it's here at home within our own cities, with our own freaking government, our own military, with a branch of our own freaking government? The military actions on water that are, yeah, doing things that are pretty warlike to me. So, war energy, Mars rules. Mars was born for war. I've even read where Mars is considered like the king of war. And I thought, oh my, I never heard Mars in the same sentence as the word king before, soldier and born for war. But definitely, I hadn't connected it to like the god of war or the king of war. Yeah. So, with that said, it can be an end to all of that stuff. Now, that's not all. 13 degrees is also freedom. It's my independence, my body autonomy, the ability to look how I look and it's okay, to even identify, and it's okay. My appearance, how I dress, how I wear my clothes, right? How I wear my hair or not, makeup or not. The head is super emphasized here at 13 degrees. It is the body, but with emphasis on the head. And so this can also be an ending to childlike ways. And I know for years, it's like every year when I get a full moon at this degree in a certain sign, it's like, ooh, okay, are we finally going to be done acting like kids in a goddamn playground, kicking and throwing sand at each other? Is that shit finally over? Let's hope and pray that that stuff's over, but we'll see, right? In your life, the ego, right? We'll scale it down to our personal selves, our ego even. If it's not just about our liberties, our freedoms, and our independence, but our physical body and maybe a little bit of the ego energy. That's the 13 degrees. So a release and an ending. Okay. Now, the part about the business and the 14 degrees is that this 14 degrees, this is a money degree. This is banking. This is a Venus degree, values, desires, the desire energy. Interesting, especially when you pair it up with the number 13 and the body. Yeah, and assertive and aggressive actions, because that's Mars energy. It's not all that Mars is. It's not all that the number 13 is. I'm talking about 14 degrees of desire energy. I'm talking about Leo, which is really can be very over the top and unbelievably confident. And when you mix that combination together, you've got people usually who are authority figures. So whether they have that label and get paid for it doesn't matter. It can just be the one who wears the pants in the family. It can be the one who, within their group of friends, for some odd reason, the dynamics, this is that person who's always seems to be the take charge or that everybody kind of just does follow the leader with. They just let them assert themselves and they kind of just go along. And that's an authority figure. That's the person who has the authority in that environment, in that situation, in that setup. You follow? So there's a lot of different ways that this kind of energy can be in one's life, and we don't really kind of see it. It can be complex. And a lot of this is obviously quite psychological. especially since Leo energy is a square. It squares the Scorpio energy, the subconscious. Because the sun rules this, we have to look at where is the sun. And there's the sun in Aquarius, 13 degrees. Aquarius is technology, it's surprises, it's disruptions, it's breakthroughs, right? We think of cutting edge, never been done before, a lot of similarities. 13 degrees, the Mars degree in Aquarius, and even Mars is present in Aquarius. And usually this is a very wicked combination because we physically are being activated by this extra spontaneous, unpredictable burst, almost like a downloads from the divine that come through, and we just kind of act on it. We really don't stop and think. And it's sudden, it's like a lightning bolt. So we got to be cautious. We got to be cautious in general when Mars is in Aquarius. And because the sun is the ruler and the sun is in Aquarius, we have to consider, authoritarian energy. This is very disruptive energy in general. In general, shocks and surprises. And maybe the head of the military, the Department of Defense. This has been a long time coming. This isn't a surprise, but on a big scale, this could be that. So this could be an authority figure in your life. And sun energy typically is masculine energy, typically father figure energy, but it can be male, female. It can be anybody that presents as the authority in your world. You follow? So those roles may change. The authority may step down. The authority may be removed. Again, it can look a lot of different ways. And I keep going over the authority and all that because of the Jupiter stuff. The Jupiter's at 17 retrograding, and this Jupiter will contribute to this because the Jupiter is sitting at a Leo degree. That's a Leo degree, right? So we're talking about Leo energy. Leo energy. And when it comes to the risky stuff and risky business, may it all be out on the table, and may we learn from our freaking childish ways, and may those who have been breaking the law, who have been doing wrong, who have been harming children, regardless of the gender, whoever has been doing the harm, let them meet their consequences, and may we be done with this very ugly chapter of the human experience.